the other way you can get a hype train going is by creating a pseudonymous 13-year-old boy's Twitter account and
Yeah.
tweeting out some weird stuff.
It's obviously a tough topic because of the allegations and stuff that he's had. I understand that. As far as this goes, though, I just feel like I'm one of the few people that doesn't find this as weird as other people find it. The Twitter stuff, not the 17-year-old stuff.
I think that yeah, and I mean I don't want anyone to
just
have
to be
to
clear,
assume,
we
but,
all find that stuff.
yes. Welcome back. It is Thursday, and it is Thursday, November 11th, and this is episode 13, and then in brackets 2 of Exit Liquidity. We recorded episode 13 last week.
Yeah.
It was a good episode. We had a lot of great conversation, nice little hour of chatting with the boys, and I realized my microphone wasn't recording properly. Yeah, it was my bad. All my bad. I take full responsibility for the lack of episode last week. Technical difficulties. But hey, you know what? As Dirty Milk so aptly said, it's a mistake that you only make once. I spent like an hour before this all went down to make sure that everything was recording properly. So, knock on wood, I think we're all good to go. I guess that means technically, since we've last been like on a show, it's been 2 weeks. How's things going? What have we been up to? Lots has happened in the NFT space. We're going to get into that, but let's talk about the three of us.
Life's been good. Started working out, feeling less fluffy. Power went out today.
Yeah, the great West Coast blackout for it was an hour maybe, right?
It's a brownout.
Yeah,
Brownout?
It's about an hour.
Yeah.
Now we're cruising.
I guess you guys wouldn't have been part of the East Coast blackout that happened for like 5 days.
No,
in the early 2000s.
3,000 miles between us.
Yeah. That was pretty serious.
Sure
that went from up here from in Canada where I am down all the way down to like almost
you
Florida.
Say 3 days?
It was 5.
Wow.
Yep. I mean, into a little bit into it, they managed to get like it into rolling blackouts, so they would like get power into specific spots for like a couple hours at a time to let people's freezers and fridges kind of kick in and stuff like that. But it was a lot. Yeah, it was a long one for sure.
Huh.
And it was right around that time, like shortly thereafter 9/11, whenever like the immediate one was like terrorists, like, you know, just
so this wasn't like last year.
Grid.
This was like
the early 2000s. It was like 2002, I think, or 3.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't, dude. That was it was like literally the whole Eastern Seaboard's power grid.
Maybe that kind of sounds familiar. Huh.
You guys were living your best.
We were also
life
like
over there
early
on the West
2000s.
Coast.
We were what in like I was
High
like
school.
in 8th grade, high school.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little bit older than you guys. Yeah.
I was
not paying attention to any of that.
I was in high. Yeah, true. Fair enough.
Yeah, dude. I was still getting ice cream on Friday after school. Are you serious?
You still get ice cream on Friday after whatever it is you do on Friday.
That's true. That is true.
Drip, how you been, man?
Good. It's like officially winter. It was like 29 degrees walking the dogs this morning. There was like frost everywhere. That was not fun.
Yeah.
It looks sunny out now. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it gets you, though. The sunniest days are the coldest days in places like Idaho.
Yeah.
There's none of that layer holding that heat in, dude. I learned that a couple winters in Utah.
You look, you look chilly in your garage there, rocking your Carhartt beanie and the Patagonia jacket.
It's like 50 in here. I got my heater going. I got my
That's
Patagonia.
True. January, you're gonna be in like snow gear, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna move into the office upstairs because
Gotcha.
the wife will be on maternity leave. So yeah,
nice.
I'm moving.
Taking over the space. All right. Well, we've got a great episode lined up for everyone. We're going to be talking about Art Gobblers. Lots to unpack there. The KPR mint finished up today. It was quite the gas war. Good to see a public gas war back. I do think it helps, although I think it was like 4,000 or 5,000 gwei you had to send out to get into it. We're going to be talking about Gabby Cakes getting hacked on Twitter, costing a good amount of ETH in terms of lost funds for a fraudulent link that was posted. And I think we're really briefly going to talk about Blur kind of flipping OpenSea in terms of volume, but we're not going to do too much about Blur. We'll just keep that towards the tail end. So just for a little bit of context, ETH crypto doing all right. Last time I checked, 2,100 on Ethereum, and Bitcoin was kind of just holding above the 20,000 mark. Not nothing too notable there. Well, I guess actually since
2100 on Ethereum.
2100 on ETH.
no,
Yeah, I
so,
would love
oh,
2100.
my apologies. I tried to do in. I'm looking at the Canadian price.
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
see, ETH has been above 2,000 for me lots.
That's crazy. I was like, whoa.
I was like, I bought 2100
no,
ETH.
1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be right back. I'm gonna go dump some ETH.
Well, the great thing is with the Canadian currency tanking, the value of ETH just keeps going up and up because it's all denominated in US anyways. So there you go.
Nice.
Well, that's great.
If you want to look at some silver linings to our economy absolutely crumbling, then there we go. But yeah, lots of volume coming back into the NFT space. Last week was like an all-time low. Well, not all-time low. It should be like a local low, I guess, in the last year. Definitely the wind was coming out of the sails. Even the free mint meta is drying up. Nothing really too exciting going on. Cue Art Gobblers. And yeah, 36,000 ETH in volume traded since its launch on Monday. And it is just absolutely crushing it. This was a really interesting mint because I was watching it. I had some ETH loaded, ready to go. And I was thinking, like, I knew this is hyped. A lot of times you see that, like, some big prices go in and then it really is just a race to find the bottom, right? And I just thought, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to watch. And maybe around 1 ETH, maybe 0.75 ETH, I would love to find an entry point in and grab a couple of them because I know it's a small supply and we know how that can go with DigiDaigaku. Like, this is my chance to get it back.
I was ready to get in on the Ponzu, but
wild, right? The mint started at 4:20 Eastern, and the first sale went off really quickly. Now, you don't normally see a lot of secondary volume until the mint almost gets completed and people start to try and figure it out. But because it was small supply and it was fully allow listed, the volume actually did kick off quite early. First sale went in for 6.9 ETH. Second sale went in for 5 ETH almost right away. And I thought, man, those guys, like, you always see those people put those ridiculously high prices up just to see if somebody will bite for some reason right at the beginning, because you know sometimes it happens, right? And I thought, good for them, like they just made off like bandits. And then boom, it was 12 ETH, 12 and a half ETH, 13 ETH, 11 ETH, 12 ETH, and moving. Like, we're talking a couple of minutes. And as Dirty Milk, I don't want to take this away from you, aptly said in the pre-show, it was like a Discord finally was able to coordinate on, like, we're not listing below 10 ETH, you paper-handed mother. Like, it was just, you always see that conversation going on in these hype projects, being like, hold the 5 ETH floor, and then immediately it's like 0.25 or something like that, and you're like, you paper-handed bitches.
Dude, I got my times wrong
wild.
too. I thought it was going to be 4 p.m. my time. So I was like out running errands. And then I see all these texts come in from Dirty. He's like, holy shit, it's going off. And I was like, what the fuck? So I like, look, I add that out. I was like, what the heck is happening? So I check and I was like, well, I missed that mint completely. And then I saw like 12 ETH floor. And I was like, holy.
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. Well, I actually didn't experience it. I just observed it. But it just, Drip, you shared a tweet, I think a few days before the mint.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first I had ever heard of Art Gobblers.
Dude, I messed up big because the first I heard of it, it was actually Tice. I don't know if you guys remember Tice, but like he shared his meme that he made for it because like you could enter to get the whitelist, you would make a little art piece on their art generator, and I was like, maybe I should make one, and I was like, nah, I don't care. I don't think it's gonna be much. Boy, was I wrong. So like,
yeah. So
I knew about it, and I knew, I guess, about the fact that the Rick and Morty, and this was by Justin Roiland, who created Rick and Morty.
I didn't know about that until after.
I just, here's my thing, and I know I might get the brigade on me. I hate Rick and Morty, and I've never seen an episode.
Really?
I do. And I know that's short-sighted of me, and I know that it's completely baseless, but I typically really do not like Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
The amount of Pickle Rick memes that I see and just like shoved down your face. You have to watch it. It's the best show ever. It's so complex and deep. And like, I don't doubt that any of that is true, but it's like one of those things that when like people just tell you so much. Here's the other thing too. And Dirty Milk, you could probably
a Star Wars fan. I just want to let you know that you've experienced nothing that we've had to experience.
I'm a Star Wars fan. What do you?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
is you guys are so much more annoying than the Rick and Morty fans.
Not true. Not true.
Yeah.
Not true.
There's so many.
No, because Star Wars fans have been like down and out. Like we're fully aware that like the sequels were absolute garbage, and like we just kind of tucked our tails in shame. As a gamer, Dirty, you're going to resonate with this. I have never seen somebody in a game with a Rick and Morty avatar that isn't toxic as shit.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not like a diehard Rick. Yeah, I'm not like a diehard Rick and Morty fan, but I just, in my opinion, like I don't watch the adult cartoons at all. But Rick and Morty is like the smartest cartoon you could ever watch because it stays true to all like the scientific theories that it brings up and stuff. So it goes beyond just the humor. So in my opinion, it's like there's multiple reasons to watch it. But yeah, you are right about like people in Rick and Morty avatars.
It definitely has a very cult following. I've seen it. I don't watch it. I think I saw like season 3. I don't even know if I finished it. I can't remember. I kind of got over it because I just felt like I was just watching a show that was just trying so hard to be outrageous. And I was just kind of like, all right, I get it. Like that's the shtick. Like I'm kind of over it. But it was entertaining, like to a point. But I don't watch it. I haven't seen anything recently. I think they just had a new season. I saw a commercial for or something. I don't know.
Well, let's get into the topic about Art Gobblers because there's a couple of things that I want to touch on regarding it. One, the reveal happened the next day, and I think the first reaction was, and I'm going to preface this by saying the reaction from the people that didn't get to mint or buy and hold this was that this is garbage art. I'm going to be here to tell you that it is absolutely not. If you look at the floor of it, if you look at them all side by side, like they're good animations. The color palette is very good. They're very clean. They have tons of differentiation. A lot of work went into making all of these traits match up, line up, look cohesive, look clean. It's not nice art to look at. You're not going to be hanging this on your wall as some kind of aesthetic piece that complements the rest of your room. Whoa. But to say that this art is garbage is stupid and so salty, right?
It's like Goblins where it's not, is it going to look good on your wall? No, but is it well done? Yes.
You're absolutely right. Goblins went through the same thing. And again, Goblins was actually good art. If you didn't like it because it's not aesthetically pleasing, that's your problem. But
it just looks like Rick and Morty to me. Like I'm not saying that's good or bad.
It looks very Rick and Morty world, like done by.
But
Justin
you could
Roiland.
Tell that whoever did this, obviously Justin Roiland, was a professional.
Yeah.
Right. Like it is professional grade animation and style and all of that stuff. So with that, I mean, feel free to disagree with me if either of you do.
The animations are great. There's one I saw where both hands are like doing a thumbs up, and it's like one of the best animation pairings I've seen, because like the animations are really well done, but some of them like don't translate. Like that one on the top right. Go back up. That one. Like see how like the hands. That's another good one right there. If you go up one row on the far right, see that like those go together, but some of them don't necessarily move like how hands would move, which is fine. But
so I can say not anatomically correct is what you're saying.
Not like I'm not expecting a hand, but I just mean like the claw and like the fingers wiggling is just like was weird. But if you get like somebody going like this, it makes a lot more sense than this and this, you know. Like
I can definitely say like as like an artist myself, like growing up doing like my career has been graphic design, like it's very well executed, especially the animations. It's not good art. Like it's art that anyone could do, in the sense of like if you sat down with an iPad or Illustrator or whatever, you could easily make something comparable, comparable, like art wise. Like it doesn't take a lot of like talent. Like there's no like shading or anything like that. But like making a collection like this, that takes a lot of skill, and like the execution on this is so well done. Some of these backgrounds too actually take a lot of skill. Now that I'm looking at some of these backgrounds, but the character itself, like I think anyone could make that, but some of these backgrounds are insane.
And even if you want to call it like kind of like that low quality style where it's just
really
like
cool.
kind of looks like a kid could sketch it, and like, you know, maybe you could create a one-off character that's equal to it. Like, making it look good over with all of the traits and against the backgrounds and stuff like that is not a simple task.
No, the animation on this and the animating is like easily the hardest part, especially randomizing animations. Like, holy.
Yep.
Yeah, like that takes a lot of effort.
Hey, I could tell you from firsthand experience how hard it is to line up static traits, right? Like once you start putting them all together, like you start to see like that doesn't look right. That clashes, that's off center, that doesn't fit. And then once you put movement into them, like do they overlap in a weird way? Like does this accidentally go behind the head? Like all of those things you have to be really, really cognizant of. So, I mean, with that conversation out of the way, like I think we can agree that this was really well done.
Very execution top notch, 100%.
Top notch,
like a professional team. Like the fact, I mean, it shows Paradigm was involved. It shows like a professional artist who has experience, like executing and delivering, was involved 100%.
The next conversation we're going to have is a little bit of a different one. A lot of controversy coming out after this. The first stage of the controversy was the influencer kind of pump and dump. Like, oh, great, it's the influencers. They get rich again. I'll let you guys go on how you feel about this, but I think there's a couple of things that we need to kind of just pump the brakes on here a little bit. Just because these are influencers or people with a following does not mean that they are bad people. We're not talking about...
What are you talking about? Yes, it does.
We're not talking about Cole. We're not talking about Beanie. I see Farouk there. I you know, you might be able to put him in that. Grape Dutch, Zeneca, Andrew Wang, like... Okay,
this is just this is just a sample, though.
Yeah, this is a sample. Like, they're notable people who have built up a big following, but in a lot of regards are very well respected people. Fleur maybe can't put in that camp, although I think she's kind of turned it around a little bit. My point is, this is kind of like saying Floyd Mayweather made, you know, $45 million for 2.5 minutes of work, right? Floyd Mayweather spent his entire life becoming, you know, one of the best boxers on the planet and a promotion genius. Like that, the fact that 2.5 minutes made him that much money was not only 2.5 minutes. Like he got to that point because you could say that about any professional athlete or anybody that's just really, really great at their craft, right? A lot of work goes into that. You're not paying for the minutes,
you're paying for the years.
These people are where they are because they've spent the time to build up a following, provide value to people, provide growth to things. Like that didn't just happen, right? And you can disagree with me if you want, but I just think that like when it comes to that, like if you are mad that Zeneca was able to get on this allow list because he has status, you can work on having status yourself. Nobody is preventing you from doing that. The hard reality is maybe you just don't have anything interesting to say. Let's just be honest.
100%. I don't think obviously everyone's just mad they didn't get the opportunity, but like everyone has the opportunity to build a following. These people have spent time and effort and energy to build up a following and to get whitelists. Like I personally don't have a problem with it. I don't really care. Like that's what off my back. I'm not losing sleep over it.
I'm in the same boat. It's just like, I mean, they're influencers. They're meant to influence. They are who they are. It's not a bad, I don't find it weird for projects to utilize influencers. It's like, I don't get mad when I don't get invited to the Revolve party every year. You know, it's just like, it's the same logic. Like if you want to be in their position, then put yourself in their position. But if you're not willing to do that, then you're not allowed to complain about it.
Yeah.
Like celebrities do commercial endorsements all the time. Like we're mad that celebrities promote products too, right? Like, you think they don't get paid to do that? I mean, it's again, a lot of the anger in this is just stemming from the fact that it's cope or FOMO, really. Just you missed out and it sucks. I was doing the AM show with Free Market the other day, yesterday, and we had somebody in our chat that was able to get on the Art Gobblers. They were not an influencer, and guess what? They got to pay off their credit card, put some money down for a trip, and still have some left over for like the KPR and the Valhalla and the Ether mints so that they could play around with that. That's a huge win. It's not like this was 2,000 influencers who are fleecing the market of ETH, right? And here's the other thing. The average person, this opened at 12 ETH. Like, do I have that much liquidity? Yeah, but it would be a huge chunk of it. A huge chunk of it. So you know what I did? Nothing. Right? I didn't press the buy button, and I didn't go down that road. Now, in hindsight, it got up to 20 ETH, and I could have made 8 ETH. Would I have sold? I don't know. I wasn't in on it, and I wasn't paying attention. I would have liked to think I would have, but who knows? Because then you get that, oh, maybe it's going to 30 ETH. But at the end of the day, it is okay to just sit on the sidelines.
It is.
A Bugatti doesn't pull up beside me, and I give them the finger because I'm driving a Chrysler. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the reality of the world.
I'm slowly starting to realize that the worst type of person is a person who didn't hit a cooked mint. It's just like, you'll never see such a poor side of somebody until somebody doesn't hit a mint that just absolutely cooked. Just crazy to me.
Yeah, and again, it's all a very public thing, and it's, you know, people looking at like the rich get richer and whatnot. Like it is what it is. But like to say that these people weren't on the allow list because of, you know, the status that they'd worked to achieve is not really fair either. Because again, there's nothing preventing you from doing that yourself. Nothing.
The other thing too is like at the end of the day, like the only thing that's going to make a project successful is the hype machine. Yeah. And how do you feed the hype machine? By getting influencers involved. Like bottom line, like it's like a necessary evil. Like sure, do they get a little extra benefit that most people don't get? Yeah, but they also are different than most people because they have a following. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, the other way you can get a hype train going is by creating a pseudonymous 13-year-old boy's Twitter account and tweeting out some weird stuff. Okay, so let's provide some whole context to this if you don't know. I think most of the people watching this have probably caught up already. There was this one account called, what was its name? Balthazar. Balthazar Crumps, okay? Yeah. And the bio on the Twitter was, I'm Balthazar Crumps, I'm 13, I like to draw, I saw an alien one time. This was not like an out-of-control, huge account with tons of following, but it posted some artwork for it, like kind of just played into the whole Art Gobblers thing. It came out after that Andrew Wang, very notable NFT Web3 Andrew Wang, was running that account for the last 2 months, I guess, you know, posing as the 13-year-old boy or playing the character, however you want to look at it, and doing it in a pseudonymous way. He said, in the last 2 months, I ran an official Art Gobblers account, a fictional character created by Justin Roiland, Dave, and me. His name is Balthazar Crumps, and we created him with no promise of whitelist, but for me to be an artist. I mean, so obviously it was in collaboration with the creators of Art Gobblers. What he says, an official Art Gobblers account, like I don't believe there was any indication that this was an official Art Gobblers account because again, it was posing as a 13-year-old child that was creating art. That I think raised some red flags. I think a lot of it was exasperated by, as we've already outlined, the frustration with the influencer pump and the underlying just a lot of people missed the cook and missed out on the money and they're mad about it. So it doesn't, you know, I think that this was more of just like fuel to the fire than anything. The subsequent events after was that not Andrew Wang, Justin Roiland was allegedly involved in some tweets direct messages with a 17-year-old girl, basically being overly complimentary, very friendly towards them, and then making more advances when she turned 18. There's some weird stuff about that. Again, I'm going to use the word allegedly and be very careful here.
Yeah, have we even looked into that much?
Yeah, well, I mean, Free Market and I talked about it, and yeah, like they do exist. This is like it's
real.
It is, but I mean, you know, unless you see the whole conversation, like, you know, I don't. It's hard to just say like hard facts. This is exactly what happened and whatnot. So, I mean, I'm just kind of even doing the covering my own ass here because you're really only dealing with the information of people who are trying to prove something, and you know, again, you just got to be a little bit careful with that stuff. But I mean, all of these things combining to create a lot of fire, I guess, on Twitter. Didn't really seem to slow down the price of Art Gobblers. Still went to 20 ETH. It's cooled down to about 12 ETH again. But I mean, an NFT project in a vacuum is like, I don't think anything we've ever seen before. Who wants to go first?
I can go first if you want.
Go for it. Oh, yeah.
This is just such a tough topic. Sorry, one sec, my dog. It's obviously a tough topic because of the allegations and stuff that he's had. I understand that. As far as this goes, though, I just feel like I'm one of the few people that doesn't find this as weird as other people find it. The Twitter stuff, not the 17-year-old stuff.
I think that yeah, and I mean, I don't want anyone to
just
have
to be
to
clear,
assume,
we all find that stuff.
Yes, do we all need to say that disclaimer, like pedophilia, underage stuff with minors? No, no.
Justin Roiland
not cool.
makes a living off of creating inappropriate adolescent characters. He's done it with Rick and Morty. He's done it with Solar Opposites on Hulu. He's done it with every single project that he has touched. So I don't find it that weird that they came up with this adolescent, persona on Twitter to try to do this low key marketing. And he said, "I like the smell of my goo." I don't dude, have you watched Rick and Morty? That is like the most appropriate thing that has ever been uttered from one of freaking Justin Roiland's characters. Is like, does it make it okay? Should this be a normal thing? Do I think people should be actively going around and being 13-year-olds on Twitter who are adults? Is no, but I don't think that's the question here. Because it's if you guys asked me to go pretend to be a 13-year-old on Twitter, that would be so weird. But if the Simpsons creators or Rick and Morty creator was like, hey, we have this persona that falls in line with all of our other characters that we've ever created, we just want to put one on Twitter to help promote an NFT project. I personally don't find it that weird, but I don't think that his allegations help in situations like this. So it is a tough thing to defend. But to me, this is people didn't hit a mint, so I'm mad. I'm just mad. That's where I'm at. And another thing, Andrew just probably shouldn't have said this. He probably shouldn't have come out clean with this. They probably just should there's not a world or a climate at post mint that I think that this would have landed well, even pre-mint.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think that inherently means it was so wrong. I just think people are mad right now because they didn't hit a mint that flew to a 20 ETH floor. Personally, I think it's that simple. This information was around before they minted. Nobody seemed to care.
Drip.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't think any grown man pretending to be an underage boy is ever going to be normal to me. With the context that Dirty laid out, I think it's a little more understandable. I don't think Andrew Wang is a pedo. I don't think there's anything wrong with Andrew Wang. I think he was just playing a character. I don't think it was meant to be some weird thing. I definitely don't think that. It definitely comes across weird to me. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pretend. I would pretend to be a character, maybe not make it an underage one.
Yeah.
I don't know. That it's just weird. I don't want anything to do with it. I'll put it that way.
I liked the context that Dirty Milk put it in that regard of the character thing, because I mean, yeah, when you start to drill down on it, Hollywood is full of grown-ups writing underage characters in inappropriate situations, right? Even
Sure.
Euphoria is one of the biggest HBO shows, and that's just a show about high school kids, in all honesty, that is true, right? South Park is a bunch of prepubescent kids just doing some of the most vile and heinous stuff, right? Or being in the weirdest situations with some pretty raunchy, inappropriate humor. My questions in this again would be like, one, why did Andrew Wang have to do this? Like, why was it like, oh, Justin, myself, and Dave came up with this? Like, is Andrew Wang a part of the project? Like,
can I ask you a question though? I mean, just to say you had like a show creator that you looked up to, and he's like, hey, I have this character that I want you to play on Twitter. Like, most people would be excited about that, not thinking that anybody's going to turn it around to them being a pedo, you know?
Well, I don't think Andrew Wang is being accused of pedo. It was just like, why is he?
There's a lot of people.
It says Andrew Wang pretended to be a 13-year-old boy. He used sexually suggestive language while pretending to be one. He said, "I like the smell of my own goo." I don't know.
I guess there are implications there.
Yeah, so that's what my thing is.
I just like think of this as like, he just did something that he wasn't thinking about. And you're right. Like, it's just this like, oh, Justin Roiland wants me like, but why does Justin Roiland need him to do that?
How old is
why can't Justin Roiland just do it? Or one of like his show, like one of the people involved in it? Like, is Andrew Wang a part of this project? Why is he doing guerrilla marketing for them? I don't get that.
It gives credibility to a project when you use someone who is very like, very much so in the NFT space. Like, it just kind of, it's like a
but we didn't know that with Balthazar Crumbs. We didn't know it was Andrew Wang. This is
all probably part of the deal.
Who behind that?
You could let people know it was you to like draw more attention to it.
Who was behind that account was like irrelevant until it came out that it was Andrew Wang. Like,
for sure.
So if oh god, what are their names? The creators of South Park, right?
Trey Parker,
and Matt Stone came to me and would be like, hey, we're dropping an NFT project, do you want to run a Twitter account of like a 12-year-old boy? We say, why me? Like, why do you need me to do this?
Well, with all due respect, do you think that's how it was presented to Andrew? Hey, do you want to run this account of a 13-year-old boy?
I don't know.
It's like, I think they're like, hey, we have this character that we wanted to do. He's a teenager kid. Like, I just don't think that they asked him, do you want to play a little boy on Twitter? Like, when you phrase it that way, it is so much worse. And I obviously, and again, this is such a touchy subject.
How do you see this going down, though? Again, like, I'm not asking you to defend it.
In a marketing meeting being like, hey, we have this idea for a creator. It's this young artist, about 13 years old. And it's like, and yes, wording does matter. It's saying that opposed to, do you want to play a 13-year-old on Twitter? It's just like,
my question is Andrew Wang on this team?
I think he said
made them together, and
I'm pretty sure he said he wasn't. I think I don't think, because if
I'm not mistaken, part of the project, then game on. You divide and conquer. We have this marketing strategy. You take this. You take this. Yeah, I'll do that.
I'm pretty sure he said he wasn't officially a part of the team, and he was never guaranteed whitelist for doing this. I think he saw it as a fun opportunity, but also the other reason I think they tapped into Andrew Wang or at least someone in the NFT space is because like, they know the NFT space. They can speak like they're in the NFT space. Like, they're going to be more embedded in the culture and all of that versus just like some random person. And I assume like considering this, I mean, like, this is a very braggadocious post. Like, this is like Andrew Wang, like he's saying, I'm proud of this work. So it's like, I don't know if he's trying to maybe solidify himself as some kind of actor or artist for future projects or what, or if they eventually were going to make it public that he was a part of this and it just did not come out and it was not received the way they thought it was, but like I'm pretty sure he isn't officially a part of the team. At least that's where he was claiming. I can also look up his account, huh?
I just said it.
I don't personally think that changes much though, does it?
If he's a part of the team?
To like, I mean, either way, he was asked to do this, it sounds like, by Justin. So it's like being officially on the team and just being asked to help market it. I don't see why one justifies this over the other.
I just don't think it needed to be Andrew Wang on a pseudonymous account that has nothing to do with Andrew Wang.
I guarantee he's not going to ever do it again.
I guess I don't. Yeah, but I mean, does Andrew Wang make the character worse, or do you just find it odd? Are you just stating that it's odd that Andrew Wang's involved?
I'm stating it's odd that Andrew Wang's involved and that he was doing this if he's not part of the team. If he is, and it was, part of the division of labor, then fine. I can get behind your narrative of this is completely in line with everything else that they've ever created, and it was a marketing tactic. But again, like, Balthazar Crumps underneath it in the bio didn't say an Andrew Wang character. Like, there was no leveraging Andrew Wang's name on Balthazar Crumps in this marketing.
Oh,
so the fact that Andrew Wang was behind it doesn't make any sense, because nobody knew it was Andrew Wang.
Yeah, so just putting somebody of influence behind a anonymous character doesn't make sense.
Right. Because it's not Andrew's name.
I mean, I do agree with that. I think that's why I said earlier, I think this was all part of the plan, was having him come out post-mint and say that he was...
Okay, here's the tweet he has pulled up. And just to clarify, I was not on the team. Was not? It was just the team being super kind and letting me do a little experimenting. And for that privilege, I'll always be grateful. That makes today a happy day. Yeah, I don't get it. See, I don't get it.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
And I don't think
they probably used him as an advisor, and they were brought up and again, this is me just spitballing. I have zero substance to do this, but and the only thing that makes sense to me is maybe he was around as some kind of advisor, and they brought up this character, and he's like, oh, I'll do it. If you guys need somebody to do it, I'll do it. I want to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that would really make sense to me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think we should make a habit of being teenagers on Twitter, for sure.
Yeah, maybe
this is a very specific case that has a lot of context needed for it to make sense, but I don't think they were inherently pedos.
No,
Sorry.
This is a tweet that kind of gets me here. It's it's clear that even after working on an art projects for the last few months, that the space doesn't see me as an artist. They prefer to see me as a microphone, a dollar sign, an outsider. But that's only lights fire in me to keep creating. Can he just shut up? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bro, just let it cool off. Give it a few days, and no one's gonna care anymore.
Seriously.
But it's okay. Everyone, I mean, never miss an opportunity to play the victim and potentially get people on your side. So I don't know.
So
I just think there needs to be a better, people need to not be so mad at not hitting mints. It's you see me dwelling on the fact that I didn't hit the ETH ICO? No. It's just what are we doing?
All right. Well, let's move on to KPR. I'm sure there will be more to talk about with Art Gobblers in the future, whether it's just the success of the project or more things to come out. But I already get the sense that it's starting to cool off. It's crashed from 28 down to 12. So
I mean, that's a lot of people don't realize Art Gobblers is just a straight up Ponzi scheme. I don't think people understand how Ponzi is built into this whole project. And this whole project is predicated on the fact that people want to collect art and not make money, which is going to be real interesting. We're going to see how that experiment goes too.
All right, so let's get into KPR really quickly. And this is KPR versus Keeper, as people call it.
I guess it's Keepers, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that artifact thing. It took me 6 months to realize that RTFKT is actually artifact. But here we are. You live and you learn.
Here we are.
Okay, so first things first, the website is stunning. And the last time that I thought of
look at that.
A really quality project with a great website was Azuki. And you brought that up too, Drip, when we were talking earlier. Just great branding, a great look, clearly high effort. Even a close friend of ours, Dirty Charlie, had somebody look at the development work of this site, and they said that it was absolutely top tier in terms of the programming involved in the development in it. So that's always a good sign. And they seem to have quite the ethos, the vibe, as the kids say, the lore, all of that stuff. It minted yesterday for the allow list. It had an interesting allow list mechanic where you could guaranteed mint 2 and also mint a 3rd on a separate transaction if there were any left. So it was kind of this weird over and under allocated whitelist at the same time. But it did go to public sale, and it sold out in 15 seconds this morning and hit about 5K Gwei on the gas. If you wanted to get it approved, you had to send about 5K Gwei. Some people got absolutely wrecked on this, but that happens in gas wars. I'm kind of here for it. I didn't try and mint on the gas war. I
tried.
buy. Yeah, and you sent what, 2,000?
I didn't say anything. I just tried to send a transaction through to see if I could get lucky.
One through. Yeah.
I knew I wouldn't, because like so many people had their bots already like teed up, but I was like, fuck it, like why not try? Like it failed instantly. Like I didn't lose any. I think I lost a couple pennies. Like I didn't lose anything. So.
I bought 5 of these on secondary yesterday, so I'm down bad not down bad, but I'm down right now. I actually do have somewhat of a bullish prospect on this. I think that we're going to get through a lot of the botters and flippers. The volume has been staying consistent, but I think it's a good quality looking project. It was relatively hyped, not super hyped on Twitter, more of a Discord thing, which is you kind of got to be careful about. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The reveal is going to be tomorrow, and I think we have a really quality project on our hands. And like I said, I do own a couple of them.
I think Reveal pumps these. Personally, not financial advice, but I think Reveal pumps these.
Yeah, just based on what? Like, I guess that's
based on how. Well, for one, their website is unbelievable, so you know that the art's going to be top notch, and they don't have a ton of like sneak peeks and stuff. It's all like little just bits of like showing you how good we are at art, but you don't have a ton of sneak peeks, in my opinion. So I think that these just rip on. I think like maybe like. They'll drop like 10-20% like on the first 15 minutes or so, but I think that these rip by the end of the day. I wouldn't be surprised to see these above 1 ETH by the end of tomorrow.
Post reveal.
I mean, there's some projects that Azuki ripped post reveal.
Azuki was one of the, and that was one of the weird ones.
Post reveal.
Yeah. True.
It's a lot of these anime projects rip post reveal.
They do have quite a bit of sneak peeks on their Twitter, actually, and they look good. Like
do they?
If you want to, yes, keep scrolling down. You'll start to go through a bunch of them pretty soon, like that.
I feel like these.
I would assume that that's what they're supposed to look like.
That's pretty dope.
That looks like a 1-of-1.
That one's cool. Yeah, the artwork is sick.
Yeah, I guess these are that. It looks very like Valorant meets like Valorant with like a little bit more of an anime spin on it.
My mic was.
You know what it looks like? It's almost identical to PXN.
No.
Yeah, man, those still ripped to 5 ETH.
Yeah, those still absolutely ripped.
Keep crashing down. I was in somebody's wallet earlier today. I forgot how I got there, but they had like a bunch of picks and they had like all of their buys were like above 4.5 ETH. And I was like, oh no. I think
was it Steve Aoki's wallet?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Didn't he made profit on goblins, dude.
Yeah, he killed it.
Shout out Aoki.
Man, I did not realize how wealthy that guy actually is. Like, we were all making fun of him. It doesn't matter. He doesn't care.
Oh yeah, those guys, especially those DJs, they make like.
And he comes from a very wealthy family too.
Oh yeah, his dad's the guy Benihana guy.
Yeah.
The for a guy who just started doing hardcore shows in Santa Barbara in bedrooms, to becoming like
the highest paid DJ in the world,
mogul like of DJing, like
dude, their family house in Newport is insane. I don't know if you guys, Doherty, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but like it's like waterfront in the back bay, like it's like 4 or 5 properties they scooped up and like slammed into one. Like it's
the Steve Aoki portion of the show,
right?
Yeah, I you know what the vibe I kind of get from KPR is the that arcane show, the League of Legends show. That I should.
I started that. I don't know. I forgot. You told me to watch that, and I put it on and fell asleep or something.
So yeah, I mean, do you want to do some price predictions? I don't really care, but like you said, you could see them at what, above 1 ETH tomorrow, Dirty?
I'm gonna say 1.2 Saturday morning. Pin it.
Oh, that was I told Dirty that earlier. Or sorry, I told R2 that earlier when we were waiting for you. Like 1.25 was my prediction.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, we could be in the same ballpark.
I saw people predicting these going to like above 4 ETH. I thought that was a little aggressive. I would love for that to happen.
I'm talking Saturday morning though. So I mean, I think eventually, yeah. I'm just think like if are we doing a time frame in mind?
No. I mean, no, we'll look at it. We'll look at it on Saturday at noon Eastern. We'll find the floor price and then we'll report back on the next show.
Why is Gabby Petito trending again?
All right. Last topic of the day before we wrap it up. I do have about 15 minutes left.
Oh, dude, I almost forgot. Like, OX Sun got wrecked. He like loaded up like a couple hundred ETH into these wallets and like sent 32 to his miner and didn't get a single transaction through. Like, dude got absolutely wrecked trying to make the public KPR.
So he lost 32 ETH?
Yeah.
Just trying to mint?
Just trying to mint, yeah.
How many was he trying to mint?
All of them. He sent like I don't know if it's connected here or
what? Who's BitClout Cat? What am I seeing here?
I don't know. I don't know if it's on here, but like there's a transaction that was shared and he sent like 500,000 in ETH to like various different wallets to try to hit and didn't hit on any of them.
I didn't even realize KPR was that hyped for somebody to do that.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, OX Sun thought so, but he absolutely
making me really hyped for Valhalla.
I still have not got accepted. But
did you reapply?
I need to apply with that other. I need to reapply. I haven't reapplied, but I will.
Yeah, they like resent out codes if you were already approved and sent out your codes. So
what? Wow, I still have yet to be approved. Okay, well.
All right. Well, let's move on to Gabriel Leydon. Gabby, you got to protect your Twitter account, my dude. Still, the word is, or I guess the verdict is still out on how this actually happened. Although I did see SIM swap.
Yeah, he got SIM swapped.
Gabriel Leydon. I see Gabrielle.
You want to go French with it?
He has been tweeting a lot for the past month or two. And very, very heavy on the promotion of whatever they have going on next. I think Villains or something to that effect.
Yeah, Villains.
Which sets up the perfect opportunity for someone to hack his account and then post a link to getting said Villains.
Yeah, he told everybody to turn their notice on.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, this is the guy who's a CEO of a relatively large company, well-funded, lots of VC-backed money, blah, blah, blah. He's done very well for himself in the past. Got up that security game. I would think that if you were at that level of success and net worth and whatnot, that you'd have people that do security audits on you for you. But I mean, hey, it's one of those things. If it's never happened to you, you don't believe that it can ever happen to you. And you know, the real tricky hackers are the ones that will deploy something or get access to something and then not do anything with it until the time is absolutely right, rather than just like getting in and then boom, like send a link or something like that. So, I mean, it could be hard. You might have clicked on a phishing thing or something, you know, weeks ago. Could be. We've seen that happen too. Regardless, I think last time we checked, it was about $40,000. I've been.
Let's see. Refresh this real quick.
The fact that it's still going up is concerning.
Oh, never mind. It's 31 still. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Yeah,
there's still a lot of money, but happened. Like it's not a lot of money, honestly. Like it could have been worse. That we've seen.
It could have been way worse.
We've seen huge ones from NFT discords posting a fake mint or something like that. Like this guy is pretty hyped, and actually, wow, 60,000 followers on Twitter right now. Like he's grown that up substantially. I remember when I did that DigiDaigaku YouTube short. Like he only had like 4,000 or 5,000 followers at the time. So he has become, in a very short period of time, quite a prominent person in this space. Don't think there was any doubt about that. But Dirty, what do you think?
Well, what's the question?
I don't know. I mean, we're more just talking about this. Like,
I mean, it sucks. You need to be protected. I see a lot of people being like, you need to refund people. I think that's absurd. I don't think anybody, unless like, well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I think hearing some of the details about how this went down and like what you were required to do, Like if the, like I saw the tweets, it was like to get whitelist, like click this link. Clicking the link's not going to drain your wallet. It's like pushing the transactions through, correct?
Yeah, you have to sign something that gives you
so
access
it's just
to your
like,
wallet.
why are we doing that? Like we're I get it. You want to like have the opportunity, but it's like, when's the last time you signed a send transaction to get a whitelist? Like, and I get it. There's like that time frame, like idea, like, but come on.
Yeah, and still
I just like, I think it sucks, and it's his fault that he got hacked. I don't think he's responsible for paying people back though. Personally.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, like he should have better security. Like for those that don't know what a SIM swap is, like essentially someone calls up the company and says, "Hey, I have a new SIM, swap it over," and that's how you get exploited. Like you should have had some kind of 2FA, definitely not a text 2FA like Google Authenticator or some kind of authenticator. But so that definitely is on him. But yeah, refunding everybody, like he didn't make you click a link or sign a transaction or send ETH or anything like that. So, and it's still unclear on what exactly happens. I saw various reports of people saying they got wallet drained. I got other people saying it was a transfer. I saw other people saying like they paid for a whitelist spot. So I'm still super unclear on what exactly happened because I didn't click the link and obviously I didn't go through with it. But like, so I don't know.
I know Scott sent a link of him responding to what I'm assuming is somebody that got hacked, and he wasn't super chill about it.
Yeah, that was
so like I think when this does happen, there's definitely a way to act after and like, at least take a little bit of responsibility of being like, I'm sorry. I don't think you should like kind of tell the people that got hacked to F off, which is kind of like, in other words, is what he said. So I think that's something that should.
Yeah, it's a little shitty. Yeah.
It's just like, hey, if you're going to get hacked and it is your fault, there is some responsibility that you do need to bear, but I don't think it needs to be in the form of refunds.
Just yeah, I agree. And the other thing about the refunds too is that this is a space that has a huge amount of risk. And that risk exists because there's a huge amount of upside and there's a huge amount of potential to make a ridiculous amount of money. And if you're going to dive headfirst into a link and start clicking things and sign things without really reading it properly and looking into it, even if it came from Gabriel's official account, right? Like, you still click that sign button, nobody forced you to, and you tried to do it faster than everybody else. And that's the risk that you take in this space in order to get those upsized rewards. You cannot act and expect like that risk shouldn't exist by demanding refunds or expecting refunds. We saw it in the past at in AlphaMint. I remember the Bear X thing. We all knew it was a hack. It was a fraudulent one. And we knew that because we were told it was a hack, but they hadn't got it under control yet. It still existed. And we had members that purposely went and minted from the fake contract, knowing that it was the fake contract, knowing that the team was going to refund them and likely put them on the whitelist, which they did. So they knowingly gave a hacker their ETH, knowing that they would get it back from the team and come out ahead because they were knowingly playing the victim. And I just don't think it can work like that.
I agree.
Right?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
But it's opportunism at its purest. And okay, sure, there's they are taking a risk too, because maybe the team does turn around and say, look, sorry guys, we don't have the money to refund you. Like, yeah. Sucks that it happened, but
sucks to suck.
So there is some risk there. I get it. But the more that it is perpetuated that you have to refund and you have to do it because I did something I shouldn't have done, I don't think it's a good. Like, does Nike give you a pair of Nike official authentic Jordans because you bought a fake pair off a marketplace?
That's a good point.
Do they? No, of course they don't.
It's
So you should have bought it from Foot Locker, you asshole.
They don't even know you bought it.
The one time that I got caught to send function, it was because I Googled the project's name and then just clicked the top link. It's like, am I on the phone calling Google for a refund in a situation like that? It's like, no, I didn't do my due diligence. I just saw the first link and I was trying to hit a mint when I should have gone to their Twitter or something, or asked a friend for the correct link. But I just thought that the quickest way was to Google it. It's like, no, there's nobody responsible for that but me. So it's just, I agree. I just think these refunds are, and like in saying that he doesn't need, that people don't need to be refunded doesn't mean that it's not his fault. It means it's not his responsibility. So I think those are two very different things.
Yeah. I don't want to see anyone get hacked. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy when people lose money, but you do have to be careful. And if you're doing this stuff, maybe just don't do it from your main wallet where, there's potentially a bunch of ETH at play or a bunch of high value NFTs, right? It's the same thing as the remember that mint where you could mint, it only allowed you to mint if you had an ape or a mutant in your wallet.
Oh yeah.
Why are you ever minting a free mint with an ape, with a wallet that has an ape or a mutant or a Nizuki or a Clone X or anything that's worth anything to you? Why are you doing that? MetaMask wallets are free. You could make thousands of them if you want.
Facts.
So true.
Anyways, guys, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap episode number 13 up?
No, you sound like a robot and you're talking really fast from my end.
Same.
Well, good news is the recording goes through my microphone, so it shouldn't on the actual.
Cool.
Wait. Drip. Plug the apps. Plug the newsletter.
Yeah, if you guys haven't yet, we have a newsletter that goes along with this show. It comes out twice a week. The first one is usually hitting inboxes Tuesday. That's more of a write-up, more of opinion pieces, more of kind of what's going on, what we're looking at, what we're focusing on, mint-wise or project-wise. And then usually Fridays, you get hit with some more links. And then you get this show straight to your inbox, so you can usually get to it early before everyone else does. But definitely subscribe. We have a lot of good content coming in that. And then we also have a lot of people who are watching the show who have not signed up for the newsletter. So you're missing out on a ton of information and a ton of actionable information nonetheless. But if you want to get better at NFTs, Web3, crypto, all that fun stuff, sign up for the newsletter.
And if any of those links in the newsletter drains your wallet, it's on you.
It's 100% on you. We have a disclaimer in there. It's your fault. I didn't make you click anything. So no, I try to do my DD. I try to, I guess I should imply in there more or less hey, I'm doing my best. I cannot be perfect. So, but
we're all just
kind of a given, I think.
All right, guys. Dirty, anything you want to finish off with?
Was that directed at me? You still sound like a robot, but if it was, no, thank you.
All right, guys. On that note, we are going to wrap up episode number 13 of Exit Liquidity. It is always a pleasure being up here with you guys, and make sure to tune in next week. I think we're trying to line up a guest for the show, and that should be a lot of fun. Peace.
Later, fam.
See you guys.